Welcome everybody to today's video where I will give you a camera comparison between the Huawei P60 Pro and the Galaxy S23 Ultra. Let's jump right in. Now I'm recording with the main lenses on the Huawei P60 Pro and the Galaxy S23 Ultra, both in 4K and 30 frames per second. I have the same lighting set up like with the intro shot, so you get an idea how these two phones shoot indoors with two light sources pointed at you. Sorry for mixing up the frame rates here, but I hope we will still get a good look at how they compare in such an environment. So now I flipped the phones using the front-facing cameras on the P60 Pro and the S23 Ultra. So what do you think, which camera is recording the audio better? Is the Galaxy S23 Ultra having the better microphones, or is it the Huawei P60 Pro? The Huawei P60 Pro lets you zoom out a bit, so let's see, we can go to 0.8x. So you have a wider viewing angle here, and it even goes further out, which is the widest angle. So you can see you get a lot of more into the shot with the Huawei P60 Pro compared to the Galaxy S23 Ultra. Now let's take a look at some indoor shots before we will take the phones outside. After some rainy weeks, we finally have some beautiful sunshine today, good weather. Time to take out the Huawei P60 Pro and the Galaxy S23 Ultra, both recording at 4K with 30 frames per second right now. So let's make a little jog now, see how stable they are. Taking portraits outside, the bokeh on the S23 Ultra is more prominent. The Huawei has a problem with cutting out my sunglasses properly. Here it even creates some really strange artifacts. Now I'm using the front-facing cameras with 60 frames per second, still in 4K recording. Let's try the zoom, starting from ultra wide all the way up to 100x. I'm using the 3x and 3.5x on the Huawei on purpose because they are the respective optical lenses in this range. Up to 10x, both phones perform really well. At 30x and especially 100x, the Samsung is creating the better picture. Here I tried using the portrait mode on a non-human object. While both failed to do a proper job on the flag, at 3x both delivered. The P60 Pro is taking this sharper picture here. Now taking a portrait with a 3x and 3.5x optical lenses from myself, and the S23 Ultra is really failing at separating me properly from the background, while the P60 Pro is doing a really good job. Let's compare these shots here. The Huawei is creating the softer images in ultra-wide and at 3.5x zoom, while the Samsung tends to over-sharpen the scenery. At 10x, the S23 Ultra adds a lot of noise to the mix. The same is true for this next shot using the 10x zoom. We can generally see how both phones are reproducing the colors differently. The S23 Ultra is here more true to what I saw with my own eyes. On this shot, the Huawei is managing to find a balance in details where even the grass still looks absolutely fine, while the Samsung fails on the lower third of the picture. And now using the front-facing cameras at night, 4K and 30 frames per second on both. This area, it is lit with some orange lights. So let's see one time. I think on the Huawei you are able to zoom out a bit. This option is not possible on the Samsung. It can even go out further. So that's the maximum angle you can go on the Huawei P60 Pro, and the Galaxy S23 Ultra just has this angle available. First of all, don't judge my shirt. I love Thor, Love and Thunder, and while your attention is on the shirt, you can see that the P60 Pro is creating the much better picture here with a lot more clarity all around. While using the night mode, Samsung is catching up and the colors are way more accurate on the Galaxy S23 Ultra. Same holds true while using the portrait mode here. This area was filled with orange lights, but the P60 Pro is oversaturating a bit too much, make it look more red than it actually was. For example, this picture from the P60 Pro is in my opinion more pleasing to the eye, but the S23 Ultra is truer to life. Now let's take some selfies. Using the standard mode, both struggle to produce a good picture, with the P60 Pro really creating a blurry mess. Using the portrait mode helps both to improve, but the Samsung has more details on my face. Using the night mode with the front-facing cameras, and suddenly the P60 Pro is taking the better picture. Now let's zoom using the night modes. At 1x, the red color is again an issue on the P60 Pro. Using the optical 3x and 3.5x lenses, the S23 Ultra has a better shot, with the P60 Pro being way too undetailed. At 10x, the S23 Ultra has a better looking picture in my eyes, but it is losing a lot of details in dark, which the P60 Pro still captures, such as the name of the ship. And now the same test for video. It was a bit hard to achieve side by side, so we will start with the P60 Pro. Unfortunately, I again forgot to set the frame rate here properly, so the P60 Pro shoots in 60 frames per second. But this test is all about the zoom anyway. Zooming in videos at night, I think the Galaxy S23 Ultra has the better pictures and the more true to life colors at 3x. At 10x, both not really produce a great picture, but the S23 Ultra is still capturing a little bit more details. Using the night mode on this door, the P60 Pro is taking a rather bad picture with the ultra wide lens. The colors are way off again too. Using the main lens with the night mode, it isn't an issue at all anymore. Just a side to side from both pictures taken with the P60 Pro here, so you can get an idea how the colors have to look. Those pictures were taken while using a tripod. The S23 Ultra had an exposure of 9 seconds and the P60 Pro even went up to 19 seconds. The P60 Pro has once again the problem with the orange lights, and the ship on the left has its blue lights to make it look like there is a party going on. And this concludes today's video. Let me know which camera you preferred, and see you in the next video.